guys, let's get into our energy update to begin our week this week. We are in a period of time right now of some building momentum. Things are happening quickly. There could be some very fast-paced changes underway as we begin our week this week and move through the course of the next 2 weeks, actually, with Mars and Jupiter now building into a conjunction in the sign of Gemini. We're going to talk about that today, and we're going to be talking about it more and more. That is an activation that is going to characterize a lot of what we see play out over the course of this next 2 weeks. There's going to be a lot of information. There's going to be a lot of questions, a lot of possible answers, and a lot of fast-paced change that is playing out. This is also priming us for conflict, quarrels, arguments, debates, like heated verbal confrontations could definitely be going on, and we need to be careful as we move through the energy of this next couple of weeks, because with Mars and Jupiter coming together in the sign of Gemini, this is primed for like information wars or information to be weaponized in a way that provokes action. So we want to be sure that we are thinking for ourselves over this next couple of weeks, not being compelled into action by any type of public consensus or public narrative that is like being promoted right now. And we really want to use any excess energy that is coming through to like creatively grow or develop our skills or put towards some type of self-improvement somehow, not channeled into some type of destructive like expressions of anger for the purpose of forcing some type of change. So just something that we might want to keep in mind, because that is kind of just the energetic environment that we're going to be moving through over this next couple of weeks. We also have a Moon-Uranus conjunction going on to start our week this week. Could be a bit of a bumpy start to the week. There could be some sort of like unexpected things coming out of nowhere, sudden changes to plans, and then the moon will move through and conjunct Mars and move on to conjunct Jupiter. And this is, again, choose your words wisely, okay, as we begin our week this week is some good advice. And I've got a lot more to say, so let's get into our report of the day, you guys. Let's talk about how everything is coming together for us as we open our week and what perhaps it might indicate in terms of where things are going as we move towards our new moon in Leo that's going to be happening this weekend. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Monday, July 29th, 2024. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. And if you stick with me until the end of this video, I have done a collective tarot reading for us as well. I like to tap the energy field for more than one modality whenever I'm doing these videos, just to get an alternative energetic perspective on what's going on out there. So there could be some messages in there for you. That's going to happen at the end. We're going to get started with the astrology, opening our week this week, specifically Monday and Tuesday. I will say, of the 2 days, Monday is a day where there could just be some like generalized shakeups going on to get us started, as I was kind of indicating a bit of a bumpy opening to our week this week, as the moon will be transiting the late degrees of Taurus, coming into conjunction with Uranus, and then will proceed to exit Taurus, enter Gemini, where we have Mars moving into a conjunction with Jupiter. So on Monday, the moon will conjoin Uranus, and on Tuesday, the moon will conjoin Mars. Of course, Mars and Uranus recently were in this big conjunction that happened in the middle of July that was anticipated to cause some pretty serious shakeups or trigger some events that were going to be quite catalytic in terms of the changes that they would produce as an outcome of their occurrence. That, to me, is where we are at now as we open our week this week, which is indicating, as I said in my intro, a period of some serious momentum that is building towards some significant changes that are in the process of taking place and that are going to accelerate in their momentum of their changing process as we move through this week and the rest of the summer, actually. The next 2 weeks, there's probably going to be an even greater acceleration in this sort of like rush ahead energy. Okay, things just moving very quickly, generally everything kind of moving very fast. It's the growing vibe that we have going on right now between, basically opening this week and I think it's the 15th or the 14th, when Mars and Jupiter come into their exact conjunction. I will know that day exactly in my next video, but it's mid-August. So I think it's like the 14th or the 15th when they arrive at their exact conjunction. So that's what we're moving towards. But in terms of where we're at now, like that is a building and a growing vibe that is probably going to be one of the defining characteristics of kind of just generally how things are playing out between now and then, which is going to, whatever fast-paced changes go on now, it's definitely going to, you know, alter the way that things go as they unfold throughout the rest of the summer. So it'll be very interesting to see what comes about over the course of the next couple weeks in terms of the changes, like I said, but also the information and the awareness that we gain that is kind of like the driving force behind the changes, because we're talking about a conjunction between Mars and Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. This is all about news, information, facts, context, answers, you know, and also contrast, like oppositional ideas, viewpoints, perspectives. So both the growing awareness and also the growing polarity are both likely to somehow play into whatever changes are transpiring. Again, likely, ultimately, actually stemming from whatever happened in the month of July, like mid-July and the month of July generally, which was a very, very significant energetic turning point actually between the solstice, the summer solstice on the 21st, which was of June, which was a full moon in Capricorn, and July 21st, which was the full moon, another full moon in Capricorn that we had play out. So now we are in a period of accelerated change. And as I said, you know, just something to be aware of as we start the day on Monday. Things may not go as planned because of that moon Uranus conjunction. Things could be happening a bit unexpectedly. We want to slow down. We want to pay attention. This is also like energy where you kind of want to be careful because we can make like silly mistakes, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like a clumsy energy as well. There is not a great aptitude for like paying attention to detail and like real strong organization going on, even though we do have Mercury in Virgo right now, which is helping with that a little bit. The other sign that Mercury rules, Gemini, has Mars and Jupiter, and that's just like huge energy levels that like almost can't be contained. And with the strong Uranian influence right now as well, it definitely, you know, and we know this, we've been in very strong Mars Uranus energy for a couple of weeks now. Last week, I said, you know, midweek, we sort of experienced a breaking point in that energy, like a release in tension to some extent, and things kind of like simmered out a little bit. But as we are moving into the energy of this week, we now are coming face to face with this building Mars-Jupiter conjunction, which is the heights of energy. And in the sign of Gemini, this is all about the mind, mental breakthroughs, and also, like I said, these like heated, like fiery debates and verbal confrontations and stuff like that as well. And we're going to talk about some of the ways that that energy could be manifesting and kind of like what to look out for in that regard as we do move through the this video. But don't be surprised if there's just some type of like annoyance or some type of like little like random like upset or something, like you like spill something on your outfit as you're like about to walk out the door or something like that happens as we're starting the week on Monday. And even as we move into Tuesday also, and the moon enters Gemini and comes into the conjunction with Mars, and we're going to be talking a lot more about this as we move through this video. But that is also, you know, just like internalized anger, irritation, frustration, just like super annoyed and stuff like that. There could be distractions, other people with the Gemini energy like really bothering you and stuff like that, like what other people are saying or talking about, or even like thinking, writing, whatever. You could find yourself just like highly annoyed. So we are going to want to do our best to kind of like cultivate a sense of internalized patience and like greater understanding with the Mars Jupiter energy. Let's use it to gain an elevated understanding of the fact that there are just a lot of annoyances and distractions and frustrations present right now, and maybe choose to not allow them to like cause us to act in ways that just may not ultimately be moving us forward, okay? Because that really is the whole theme of everything right now. So momentum building, this week to start our week definitely could be some frustrations, irritations, things sort of shaking us up and throwing us off a little bit coming up. But the momentum that is building with Mars and Jupiter coming together in Sun and Gemini being activated by the moon, this has to do with what we're learning. Most likely that could be motivating decisions, actions, and changes somehow. I do also want to bring sort of a greater awareness to, like, as we're getting started this week, to the greater collective themes that are playing out right now because of the outer planets and their positions, their degree placements, what's going on with them. It's pretty, I feel like, you know, we gotta get a handle on the overall story that's being told here because the outer planets are really communicating quite strongly. You know, the greater unfolding plan, the backdrop that all of the, you know, day-to-day more mundane events and the moves being made right now and stuff like that are up against or are happening in the context of. And what I mean by this, I mean, first of all, we know the whole concept theme of this channel is narrating the shift of the ages because we are going through a shift of the ages. We are exiting the age of Pisces that has defined the past 2,000 years or so, and we are moving into a new age of Aquarius, which will define the next 2,000 years or so. And as we are going through this very transitional process right now, in which, you know, it has been indicated that, as I said, this past month between the solstice on June 21st and the full moon in Capricorn on July 21st, that energetically has been a major activation, a major energetic turning point in that unfolding cosmic blueprint that is transitioning us from age to age. And we know that because of everything that we have been witnessing play out in terms of the way that the activations have been coming together and the story has been unfolding, and also how that has been manifesting in terms of events and situations that have been going on in the physical reality. So we know that we are in the midst of some big changes, right? As above, so below. And in terms of these outer planets, I'm talking about Neptune currently stationed retrograde at 29 degrees of the sign of Pisces. That is the very last degree of the zodiac, and it's the very last degree, obviously, of the sign of Pisces, and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. This is the end of the Neptunian dynasty and reign of power, okay, being indicated here. The ruler of the age of Pisces on that very, very, very last leg of his journey through the dominance and prominence of the frequencies that dominated our reality, okay? While simultaneously we have Pluto ruling power in all of its forms and this very generational planet at 0 degrees, the very first degree, the entry point, 0 degrees of the sign of Aquarius. Power being redefined in the context of the Aquarian archetypes, characteristics, frequencies, vibrations, and generalized energies that are coming in now and that are going to be characterizing the course of the greater next 2,000 years that we are moving into. So we've got Neptune ruling the sign of Pisces at the very last degree of the sign of Pisces and of the entire zodiac, indicating the end of a reign of power that has been a cycle that has gone on for a very long period of time, and the transference of power, Pluto, to this new beginning, this rebirth of energy that is characterized by the Aquarian energy. Okay, so the very, very end, Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces, Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius, the very, very beginning, both simultaneously being embodied energetically by the actual positions right now of where the planets are in the tropical zodiac, and also what is happening and playing out around us in our physical 3D reality, okay? And then this month that we are moving into now, the month of August, another one actually of the energetic features defining the month of August is a square in mutable signs between Jupiter and also Saturn in the sign of Pisces retrograde. So we know that we've got Neptune at 29 Pisces. We've got Pluto at 0 Aquarius. This is talking about the very end and the very beginning. Then we bring in the square between Saturn retrograde in Pisces, Jupiter in Gemini. Well, we've got Mars also coming into the conjunction with Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. This is talking about some type of an expanded awareness or mental growth coming into conflict with these belief systems or control systems that define the paradigm of the past that are in the process of breaking down right now. This is also a mutable square, which is about change, which is about transition. This is indicating in the context context of these 4 outer planets, Neptune and Pluto, Jupiter and Saturn, and also Uranus, still at 26 degrees, still conjunct the planet Algol in the sky. This is talking about taking the head off of things generally, most likely anything that has been distorting the proper flow of energy that is leading to this path of growth and progress right now. This is definitely indicating, when we put all of these different features together and the fact that they're happening at the same time in this particular, like, against, like, at this particular point in this unfolding cosmic blueprint, it's indicating a period of conscious awakening and soul evolution, karmic evolution, I feel like, on the planet, which we know is what is happening because we are going through a shift of the ages, and a shift of the ages can't occur unless we go through some type of soul evolution or conscious awakening or karmic upgrade on a collective planetary level. So the Jupiter Saturn square this month will, I do think, free the mind of the collective, the greater collective of humanity on some level, releasing us even further from the laws that had defined our reality in the past and karmically up until this point of time, bringing in new opportunities and revolutionary ideas that are going to begin to rebirth and redefine the future paths, potentials, and opportunities moving forward. And the point of time that we are in right now, and everything that is simultaneously, you know, both breaking down and also emerging, I do believe is a manifestation or a reflection of this transition point energy that is underway, you know, as above, so below, and will be very significant in some future historical context right now. We're like living through history. I'm telling you guys, like, this year, I mean, basically between like 2020 and like, I don't know, 2030, but right specifically around the midpoint of that, you know, 2025, like, this is going to be, these are going to be some really historic times that we look back in, where it's very clear that, like, everything changed, and from that point forward, like, things began to rapidly evolve in some type of new direction. That's just where we're going. So that's like the state, okay, of the game. That's like how the game board, I feel like, is set up in the context of the outer planets, which have to do with the more collective energy, the more collective themes that are underway. And now the moves that are being made and the events that are taking place, when we apply them to that backdrop, might just make a little bit more sense in terms of the greater unfolding story, okay, of where we're going. That's why I wanted to bring this information into it. But we did definitely, over the course of, you know, this past month or so, pass through an energetic threshold, and what is coming next in the days, weeks, you know, months and years ahead will likely be unlike anything that we have experienced, seen, anticipated, imagined, at any point really up until this period of time. So that's the greater overall energetic story, bringing us back to where we're at now on a more mundane level to start our week. As I mentioned, you know, the Uranian energy that we have going on, this could also be bringing some type of like sudden awakening or revelation about something, or some insight or some answer or some solution could really be coming through somehow as well. But surprises or disturbances, don't be surprised if it feels more like that. Energy levels and passions are probably going to be running real high though. Again, like as we move through this next couple of weeks, this is going to be the highest level of energy that is just like collectively available for the next 2 years. Jupiter expands things. Mars is our energy level. So aside from the, you know, the Mars trine Jupiter, which is another aspect that would really expand these energy levels, Mars and Jupiter together, like, this is not a commonly occurring activation that is just a big, huge blast of energy. And in the sign of Gemini, it has to do with information and conversations, but it also could have to do with, you know, some, again, very like heated conflict, okay, that could definitely be going on. And I am recommending definitely to start this week, especially with the Uranian energy in play and the moon coming through there and really triggering and activating the Martian energy. We want to slow down. We want to be as observant as we can, especially driving, especially in traffic, especially Monday and Tuesday this week. Be really careful. Like, people could be dealing with road rage. This is like reckless driving type of energy. Do your best to pay attention. Do your best to give yourself time. Try not to rush. There could also be just generally a lot of questions coming up right now, and we could really be learning learning a lot as we move through the energy this week. As I've said, like, this is going to bring tons and tons of information that is coming in quickly, more quickly than we can sort through it, more quickly than we can process it. This is just like piles of mountains of information. Some of it is accurate, some of it is not accurate. That is also going to be with the square that we have going on between Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Gemini. That is some real opportunity for like illusions and false narratives and stuff to be interfering with our ability to gain like context, to gain facts, to gain real information. And it could be like really like distorting our ability to tell the difference between like what is real and what is not. So, you know, something to keep in mind as this energy builds as well. And the energy for Tuesday, and again, this is going to be building as we move through the next 2 weeks, primed for very fiery language, people being very passionate and very assertive in their expression and in their communication about stuff, not holding back anger or like rage perhaps. There could be some real verbal eruptions or explosions going on. And again, like, I would consciously, you know, choose to, you know, use your words wisely. Don't just say whatever you feel like letting out of your mouth. Maybe in this energy, it could have some like negative personal blowback. Like, it could be quite self-sabotaging if we're not careful with the way that we are expressing ourselves in this energy moving forward. If it's not going to have some type of productive outcome, you may want to reconsider whether you're just gonna like fly off the handle at somebody. Okay, so like, if the comments coming out or like whatever you have to say are going to ultimately be more self-sabotaging than helping you progress towards where you're trying to get to right now, that is not what we want to engage in. Remember, this energy is all about helping us to move forward. We don't want to like allow things to be, again, like these catalysts to an emotional reaction that has some type of like negative personal blowback or self-sabotaging effect because we just like couldn't contain the words coming out of our mouth or something like that. A lot of people are going to be dealing with that. And again, passions are just probably going to be running super, super high. And this is also ego energy, okay? Like, people are going to be saying things to appease their ego, to like exert power and dominance and like control, over situations, like to seem like they're large and in charge and the leader and the boss, and like very like alpha type of energy in situations and stuff like that. And I just don't necessarily recommend it unless that is what you need to do in order to truly like move yourself forward in some way. And it's not just your ego thinking that if you do that, you move yourself forward some way, but you're actually going to end up having to deal with some type of lesson. Because Gemini, this energy also has to do with what we're learning and our lessons and stuff like that. And Jupiter is about wisdom, and Mars, you know, this is conflict, this is war, this is just speaking before we think about it, okay? Rushing forward somehow before we have truly considered like the ramifications and stuff. So just keep in mind, okay, as we move pretty much throughout the whole month of August. There's definitely going to be a lot of cases, though, I will say, where it's going to be like the good fight. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to be engaging in these righteous battles to like break free from something or to fight to rebalance something. That really also is what this energy is primed for right now as well, what these times are really made for and what they are about. This is a breakthrough from the, as I said, the karmic laws of the past, essentially, as we emerge into this new paradigm of cosmic consciousness and understanding moving forward that is going to characterize this incoming next 2,000 years or so. And a lot of people are going to be like, find themselves in a position where they are, you know, fighting that good fight right now, engaged in that righteous battle right now. But we want to be very, very careful, okay? Because another way that this energy is playing out, there's going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of distortion in the informational field, especially in discerning fantasy and fiction, what's real and what's not, truth and illusion, with the pending Jupiter-Saturn square between Gemini and Pisces that we have playing out, okay? We need to be careful. A lot of people are going to be provoked through information to respond destructively or violently to things, like literally thinking that they are doing the right thing. We don't want to participate, okay? I feel like with the Mars Gemini energy, this can have a tendency of really priming us energetically for very like heated protests and demonstrations and stuff like that. And I do not recommend getting involved in like these moral contests right now that involve destruction and violence as a mechanism for forcing change, which again, like I do think are going to be flaring up as we move through this period of time. We want to be very, very careful allowing ourselves to actively engage in things based on specifically ideas, information, or polarized viewpoints, okay? There's a good chance also that a lot of this is not organic, is not authentic, and is not what it appears to be. We got to keep in mind the context and the story right now of this battle going on between the past and the future. And with the square between Jupiter and Gemini and Saturn retrograding in Pisces, there are going to be, again, like spells that are cast or false narratives that are presented, or like a sense of, you know, some type of like hypnosis that could be coming through or something for the but with information as its like functioning mechanism, basically just narratives that are for the purpose of provoking people to take actions that could actually be working against the organic process of growth that is trying to come into fruition right now, as the past, you know, fights to hang on and like diminish the future's ability to truly take root, which is going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen regardless, but there could be just, again, information that is weaponized in a way that provokes people to do things for the purpose of actually like upholding these control systems of the past and preventing the progress and the forward momentum of the Aquarian energy, the new energy that's coming in right now, which goes right along with the themes of everything that is coming through when we talk again about the backdrop of planets that we have set up. So, you know, information, Mars in the sign of Gemini, especially with Jupiter, that is an opportunity for information to be weaponized and to incite action. But again, like it could be very much a distraction as well. It could be used to, you know, incite action to make people do things, to make things go in a certain way. But it could also be used as a distraction. Lots of annoying distractions when we've got Mars in the sign of Gemini, especially with the Jupiterian influence there. Jupiter just expands everything. So we take the already kind of like uptight and, you know, a bit like rash and kind of like verbally blunt perhaps energy of Mars and Gemini, and then blow it up and expand it with Jupiter there. And we could literally be seeing that, like people could be exploding. There could just be some verbal eruptions, like blow ups that are literally happening. Yeah, okay. But we need to remember, and here's the thing, we are in a season of cosmic change right now and cosmic awakening, right? We are in the Great Awakening. We are going through this transition and shift of ages. We do not need to violently force change to make things happen. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't recommend, no matter what your moral cause is right now, I don't recommend engaging in these like big collective protests and stuff like that, because they are not necessary. Like that is not what is going to cause the changes in a positive direction to happen right now. That actually is most likely, again, going to have that like backfiring impact of slowing somehow the progress of the natural changes that are underway right now. Like we don't need to force changes to happen. They are just happening. These organic processes of change are underway right now, and we don't want to participate in things that are actually like disorienting the true authentic process of growth that is happening right now, even if people are telling us that it's a very good idea. This is the energy like the don't play the silly bad games, don't get the silly bad prizes type of thing, like something to keep in mind as well. We just don't want to be provoked. Do not allow your mind and your energy to be co-opted, and don't be swayed by public opinion. Mars in the sign of Gemini, okay? Think for yourself. That's a big theme that we all need to embrace as we move through this. do your research, look at multiple sides. That's another thing we need to do. We need to be able to, with Jupiter and Mars, they're like expand our perception and like look at multiple sides of a scenario, consider things from all angles and perspectives, try to gain like a more holistic view of things before just like jumping on a side or jumping to some conclusion or flying forward into some crazy action or something like that. We want to be as self-guided as possible as we move through this energy. So anyways, you guys, passions and irritations likely to both be running high as we start our week this week. This is also like the positive side of this energy. Super, super, super creative energy to get things done. If you can't take what's going on around you and you feel like you're just going to explode, focus on personal growth. That is the most energetically supported way the energy is flowing right now. That's really at the end of the day what this time is all about. Stay very active. Do not be a vessel for all the successive energy. That's when it can come out in like random bouts of anger and stuff like that. Work out, read, think, philosophize. Jupiter and Mars in the sign of Gemini. This is a really our synapses are firing very fast, okay? Learn new things. Talk to yourself even, write, journal, do things with your hands. Also, this is a very, it gives a lot of skill and precision and stuff when it actually comes to the hands and what we can do with that. Pick up a hobby. Also, like I've been saying, this is a really good time to develop your skills. This is not the most organized, not the most detail-oriented energy, as I mentioned in the beginning, but we do have a lot of very, very good energy that is best spent on personal growth and personal improvement. So that's where we should be focusing. Learn something new this week. Don't make anger or conflict your personal focal point. Use the energy to build and create, not to dismantle and destroy. What needs to be destroyed, you guys, Saturn is retrograde in the sign of Pisces. Neptune is at 29 degrees of Pisces retrograde. The things that need to be destroyed, I am telling you, they are going to destroy themselves. You don't need to lift a finger. You don't need to do a thing. All you need to do, turn your own energy inwards and focus on yourself. You don't need to put anybody in your place. You don't need to tell anybody where to go. You don't need to tell anybody what to do. You don't need to tell anybody even not to come back. You just need to focus your energy on yourself, on your path, on your personal growth, on your progress, on your goals, on your mission, and let everything fall away that needs to fall away around you, because it will, and let everything fall into place that needs to fall into place in front of you, because it will, if you stay in that frame of mind. So that is my recommendation for where we're at right now. And also, if you are ordained to play some role in somebody's self-destruction somehow that is going on, you will know that as well. Even then, you won't have to lift a finger. You know what I mean? It will just happen. So don't go out looking for a fight. Don't go out looking to make things like bend to your will or to your way. Don't feel like you need to educate anybody or inform anybody or fill anybody in about anything. This is an energy where we lead by example, and if people don't want to experience that or have a problem with that, that's fine. They can do that and they can find somewhere else to do it. And if they don't, universe will find somewhere else for them to do it for them, because we are in a time of divine intervention, you guys, and also a time of miracles. So we can't forget to keep that kind of like top of mind as well. Maintain the faith and know that you are protected, especially if you feel like you're under attack in any type of a way. We have Mercury ruling the position of Mars and Jupiter as the moon comes through Gemini on Tuesday at 3 degrees of Virgo. That Sabian symbol is 2 angels bringing protection. So we got a double dose of divine protection, divine intervention out there. Keep the faith, you guys. Like I said, yes, we are in a time for elevated levels of perhaps conflict, turbulence, change, but we are also in a very profound window of magic and miracles and divine intervention as well. Okay, so Dynamic blessings and opportunities for expansion are also very present right now, especially Jupiter in Gemini, if we are choosing our words and our actions. Mars in Gemini, wisely, okay? Things are definitely really lit up as we start our week this week, and we do have a new moon in Leo that is coming in on the 4th, which I think is a Sunday. So we are in, it's strange because we're in a come down period, but it's like the come down energy itself is also snowballing into this momentum and this heated energetic environment, indicating some major fiery change that is likely to be coming up here very shortly. It is like things are very lit up, okay, as we do begin our week this week, and we are moving towards this new moon in Leo. That is also a very fiery time of year that is coming in this weekend. So very, very interesting times that we are in energetically right now. There is a huge significance to the things that are playing out. Like, don't understate these, like the importance and the significance and also the value of things that are happening right now. A lot of things that are happening are not as they appear. Also, there are layers to things, and we are going to begin to peel those layers back. As I said, lots of information is about to be coming in, and also don't believe everything that you hear throughout the month of April, throughout the month of August, because again, like a lot of the information is going to be like planted specifically for the purpose of making you do something that works in somebody else's interest, but not necessarily in your own. So again, like, we're really thinking for ourselves and not allowing ourselves to be emotionally provoked through a state of anger into doing something that we may regret in the future. So that is what I have to say, you guys, about all the energy that we've got going on to start our week this week. We will, of course, get into more on Wednesday. Let's talk about the tarot for a minute now. It is like the central card that we had coming through in our reading today is the King of Swords. And then we've got the Star. And then we've got the Judgment card on the back of the deck, okay? I said this in one of my other videos, like consciousness, it's like truth is king, you know, like consciousness is king. Knowledge and information is like so powerful right now. And it's really changing our perception of our own ability to, again, like move forward. Look at this reading that we have coming out, okay? We have the Eight of Swords in reverse. We have the Death card in reverse. The central card is the King of Swords. And then we've got the Ace of Wands in reverse and the Magician in reverse, okay? All these reversals with the King of Swords centralized. Then we've got the Star and the Judgment card. Like, it's a revival, okay? It's a revival based on something that we're finding out. The power that information has to remove blockages to the ability to manifest something or to make something happen or to move forward with something, or the creative process generally. With an Ace of Wands in reverse and a Magician in reverse, this is an inversion of the creative life force flow that allows things to happen organically in a way that is also balanced and stable and logical and like emotionally intact, okay? All of the elements represented through the Magician that are all of the forces that are used to create and to manifest in this reality. It's how we make magic. When we get our feelings and our thoughts and our actions and our resources like united on the same page, that's when we can really, really manifest some incredible things. And this is talking about a revival in terms of our ability to truly create in a powerful way moving forward. And again, it's coming through some type of powerful information, or this could also be like, it could also be, you know, a leader or a messenger somehow of some type of powerful information. But with the Star here, it's restoring faith. And it really is like a rebirth. Like, we've got rebirth indicated here twice. We've got death in reverse followed by the King of Swords. That's like whatever, you know, revelation or whatever awakening with the star here as well that's going on, that is re-empowering us to take back control of the creative force that has been blocked within us, that has been preventing our ability to move forward, to create, to manifest, or produce. And then with the Judgment card on the back, that is also a rebirth and a revival. So this is talking about a revival of the, it's like the thought energy too. It's like a mental awakening that is showing us perhaps where we've been working against ourselves, or where the distortions or the blocks have been, and removing them somehow. And through the somehow is through what we're learning, through the mental shift going on, and through the empowerment that we're receiving from that. I mean, this all is boiling down to a revival that is coming through as a result of some type of mental empowerment that we are getting through, some type of shift in perspective that is unblocking things and restoring faith and hope for the future, which also fits into this greater overall unfolding narrative brought to us by all of those outer planets that I was talking about, and where we're at generally now as we move on a more mundane level through our shift of the ages in 2024 in July. So that's what I have to say today, you guys, about the tarot message. Let's get a synchronicity card as well. Ask for one more piece of advice or guidance, God, Spirit, Universe. What should we keep in mind as we do move through the energy, opening our week this week, and we come up against the Mars, Moon, Gemini conjunction, and Moon and Uranus, and move towards, well, this week is closing out that lunar cycle, the new moon in Cancer, cardinal phase of the year. So things are, as I said, you know, they should be simmering down on one hand, but also on the other hand, there's just this momentum and acceleration that's building. And oh my gosh, our card for today, what did I tell you guys? What did I tell you guys? You literally, like, sometimes, you know, it says stop, don't argue, which is what I have probably repeated more times than I needed to from start to finish throughout that whole report. Stop, don't argue, okay? The Lord shall, what did I say? What did I say? I said, we don't need to force change, right? We don't need to force change, because we are in a period of time right now where change is happening. And if we force it, if we try to take it into our own hands, what that is going to do is actually, like, distort and interfere with the process of organic change that is happening without our intervention, okay? It literally says, stop, don't argue. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And I was feeling that really, really strong as I was preparing for this report, and obviously as I was communicating the report, because I just kept saying it and saying it. Anyways, Exodus 14:14. Don't fight or argue. Rest in the assurance God is working for you on this matter. Relax, let go, and know a divine solution takes place. Harmony will return, and behave now as if it is already before you. And that's exactly how I feel like we should navigate this energy. You know, like I said, if you just can't take what's going on with other people and you're about to lose your mind, we need to figure out how to, like, positively channel the energy into something productive for us personally, in alignment with some type of personal growth or personal expansion on some level. We do not need to be the ones forcing the change right now through our, like, personal interventions with things. Whatever needs to be destroyed, like I said, it's going to destroy itself. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. So that's what I feel like is going on, and that is our advice from the higher realms, God, Spirit, Universe. Thank you for that, and that's what I have to say today. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys, share it with your friends if you think they would also want to narrate the shift of the ages with us. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so grateful for your presence. I genuinely, like, truly appreciate you and your contributions to my channel. If you are having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below what you guys have to say. And, you know, the comments that you leave, they're so valuable to me. I'm truly grateful for your presence here. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group that is linked in my description box below. That's where you can find those, and come back with me on Wednesday, you guys. we got a lot more energy that is incoming this week as we build towards this Mars Jupiter conjunction in the sign of Gemini now, and also our new moon that is going to be coming in this weekend. So I will be here to talk about it. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you next time. Have a beautiful start to your week, you guys. And until then, bye.